Imagine this is A. And his big weakness is jealousy. So one day, he's at a party and right there, his jealousy flares up. Big time. He is totally seized by extreme fits of jealousy. Luckily, he doesn't act on it in any negative way and finally calms himself down. But what happens now? With his jealousy power complex that he has generated, it doesn't just vanish on its own, no. Thoughts are living entities and are looking for similar other thoughts to grow. It's explained in detail in the video, Thoughts Are Alive. This thought complex would swarm out in this party and find somebody. Let's call him Person B, who also carries a tiny amount of jealousy in himself, according to the law of attraction. That is enough for this vagabond thought complex to cling onto him. Now this person feels the powerful rush of jealousy energy rising up in him. He gets totally infected by it, and because he has less self-control at this moment than A had, he is taking revenge and is acting out on it, such as killing somebody in his jealous rage, like Person C. This is how thoughts can affect other people who we don't even know or have any karmic connection with, as A has transmitted a part of his negative word of thoughts to another by way of telepathic influence. We can call him the instigator. The other person B is the perpetrator, and they are now bound to each other because the sad result is that they are karmically co-responsible for this murder. If this is difficult to believe, let us take another analogy. Imagine here's a large water reservoir and we dump a drop of poison into the water. Somebody takes this water and gives it to another person who then dies. We would definitely be responsible, wouldn't we? It doesn't matter if we poison the environment of water or the environment of air. We read, the cosmic computer registers every quantum, for it is just. Each will be precisely allocated his part of the guilt, instigator as well as perpetrator, according to their share of guilt. Both are involved and bound to one another. Okay, let's focus back on A and B and forget C for now. Now imagine that B is very clever and his crime remains undetected. Eventually B dies. And the moment his soul arrives in the soul realms, he becomes intensely aware of the immensity of his crime and soul burden. Besides his serious karma with C, he now suddenly learns that he largely committed his crime because of the negative thought complex from A, which influenced him. Instead of trying to undo the karma, he is outraged and angry at A and tries to influence his accomplice. Through their common input in the repository planets, the soul of B can make injections, like intensifying illness or drive A into extreme agitation, so that, for example, he can have a heart attack, an accident, breakdown or depression, so that A might even end his own life here on Earth. But this is a way how B could avenge himself. If he is unwilling to forgive A will probably never know why these things are happening to him unless he pays attention to the hints from the energy of the day. We read, if he were to recognize himself in his own causes, in his feelings of oppression, his thoughts, feelings, and irritations, in his anxieties, his aggressions, or in the reappearance of old programs, deemed long since overcome, then, by way to the path of purification, he would be able to largely avoid the direct influence coming from the soul. But his guilt is dissolved only once the soul of the person whom he instigated into action by projection of his thought energies has forgiven him. The book gives another example, like in the case where we were maybe a brooding person, and even suicidal. The thoughts that we emit and send out could perhaps be the last drop of bitterness in another person's inner pain, so that he takes his own life. This would bind us together. But it's not just thoughts that can act as instigators. The written word is no different. Think of the internet, which many use to spread hateful wishes and disparaging thoughts, tweets, messages, or comments that cause countless pain and even death. As we know from the many young people who commit suicide because of cyberbullying. In Matthew 12, we read that after our physical death, everyone is accountable for every careless word he has spoken. Careless means anything that is negative, hateful, and against the law of love. Yes, we are responsible for every word we are thinking, saying, or writing. They are all nothing but energies, besides every thought, word, or action that eventually comes back to us, according to the law of cause and effect. This video is not to scare anybody, but just to become aware of the immense power of our thoughts and words and how they affect others and how we can resolve the karma that we have created with them.